Hi everyone, my name is Mariah Johnsrud, and for my Major Trends project, I chose class size. I chose this because I feel like in our district, Minnewaska area schools in central Minnesota, this is a issue that we have and have continued to have as our class sizes have gotten larger. The quote that I chose was my face after I give instructions and someone asks what to do. I feel like this goes pretty well with the issue of having class sizes too large with not enough help or support in classrooms. So this next slide here, I'm going to show you student enrollment at Minnewaska area schools. I kind of had to create this own graph on my own, so bear with me, but over here we have number of students. We're down here, we have the fiscal year. The blue shows K6 and the gray shows 712. I'll mainly be focusing on K6, knowing that we have 4 teachers per grade and I'm a 4th grade teacher, so I kind of can tell you how it affects me and the teachers in the elementary school. So just to show you the graph here, our enrollment has slightly increased over the years. And the average class size for K6 from the data that I just showed you is 19 to 23, which is pretty normal, and that's a nice class size. But just from the last 3 years that I've taught, some grades that I've had, 2 of them actually of my 3, I've had 28 to 30 students. So it just shows that sometimes, even though there's 550 elementary students, some grades are bigger than others, where I feel like there's a big gap with finding a solution to, the bigger grades and having the support. For the average class size for 712, it varies. In our school, we have some classes that have 32 to 34 students in them, which is very frustrating for high school teachers. Kind of impossible to meet the needs of all learners. And then there's other classes that there's only 6 to 8. So it's just kind of a gap that I feel like is a major issue in our school district right now. I found on the Minnesota Department of Education as well the projected student enrollment at Minnewaska area schools. And as you can see, it still remains pretty high. This graph shows again K6, 712. We're over 1,200 students, where if I go back here, we were right around the 1,000 mark 10 years ago. So it is showing that it's growing. And from that data, it says that the average class size K6 then now for projections are 23 to 25, which is getting kind of up there. But again, it varies with grade sizes. Some range from 19 to 21, and then others, like I said, I think our 7th graders right now, there's if it were cut into those 4 sections, there'd be over 30 kids. So it's not manageable. And then for average class size, again, for 712, it varies depending on, what courses students are choosing to take in their upper senior high classes. And I just feel like it's a problem. I found this for worldwide averages. This is from 2010. That was the earliest that I could find, but it shows all the different countries and their class size averages. China is up there, ranging closer to 40, which I think is just crazy. I could not imagine having, 35 to 40 students in my class. And then Luxembourg is the lowest, with right under that 20 mark. The negative effects on these large class sizes is it's difficult to meet the needs of all learners. There's not enough paraprofessionals. There's not enough support in the classroom for, our teachers to be able to meet the needs of all students. I had 23 students in my class this year without a para, and I had 3 sped kids, and it was very hard to try to meet the needs of all the learners, especially knowing that this year I had a group of kiddos who were lower, and so it's just hard to get to all those kiddos that need it. And then with this not being able to meet the needs of all of them, the student engagement is decreasing. If I can't get to those kiddos that need the help, they're not going to stay engaged, and they're going to have a tough time trying to, stay focused. Differentiation is hard for learners who need it most. Again, I said I had a lower class this year, so it was really hard to meet the needs of every single one of those kiddos who needed help. But then again, at the same time, I had a couple high flyers where I feel like I wasn't doing a good enough job to be able to meet their needs as well. Group work is hard to assess when you have so many kids. My math groups ranged from 5 to 6 kids in a group, and I just feel like I feel like groups of 3 to 4 are getting up there with trying to just keep everybody focused and meeting the needs of all those kiddos. Behaviors rides, I saw this, if I'm focused on a group of 5 or 6, the other kiddos in the class, it's hard to be able to, keep control of their behaviors and help them out when I'm trying to focus on just the small group. And then higher dropout rates for that certain class as well. If you're not meeting all of these up here, dropout rates are going to rise. Recommendations I would have for this is hire more teachers. I feel like if some districts can hire a teacher that moves along with students to the next grade levels, that would be very beneficial. If there's a grade that has 120 kids who need those extra teachers or that extra help, those teachers can start at a certain grade, maybe kindergarten first, and just kind of move along with those students in order to give those teachers help they need. And then hire more paraprofessionals to assist in the classroom. I feel like having a paraprofessional helps, so much with just one extra set of hands, going around and answering questions and just helping students who need it. I also think adding to facilities is a positive recommendation. Fund what needs it most. We have a lot of great teachers in our district that write grants, and there's a lot of great community members who make donations, and I just feel like pushing towards adding that to what we need most can really, really be beneficial. And then lastly, group students. So create groups for teachers to be experts in. I have a friend from college who actually teaches in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and they're very dramatic, I guess I could say, with personalized learning. They group teachers and what they feel they teach best, and they keep them there, and it really helps the students become better at math or reading or whatever they need that extra help in. And then also sorting students based on their abilities. I try to do this in my classroom a lot, just trying to create groups that work well together. And not necessarily, I feel like so many teachers put all the lows together, all the highs together, all the middles together, but I feel like creating groups that, sometimes have a mixture of those can be beneficial because the highs can help the lows, and, it's good for them to be able to see that not everybody learns at the same pace, and they're not all at the same spot. So I just feel like that is also one recommendation that I would have for class size. And then this last slide is my sources.